Hi everyone, my name is Crystal and I am your host from the Crystal Clear Show. It is my passion to help female professionals 30 and over to get unstuck from their corporate 9 to 5 jobs to launch and grow a successful six-figure business. And with us today, I would like to introduce our special guest, Desiree Clay. Desiree is a powerhouse of knowledge and experience. She is a master's certified coach, John Maxwell certified leadership trainer and coach, certified behavior analyst, Amazon best-selling author, and international speaker. She's the owner of DEZ 360 Coaching and Consulting and the founder, president of Girl Yes, You're Equipped to Succeed, Incorporated nonprofit organization. Desiree has dedicated her life to helping people reach their full potential, having a lasting impact on their lives. Her success has earned her both national and international recognition, and she continues to strive to help individuals, teams, and organizations achieve their goals and live their best lives. Born and raised in the south side of Chicago, she currently resides in the Houston, Texas area with her husband and three beautiful children. Please welcome Des Clay to the Crystal Clear podcast.
Hi, guys. Hey, Crystal. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for saying yes to be our guest, Des.
No problem. Absolutely.
So, I always ask my guests, who are you and why, if you are a hero?
hmm
So, can you tell us if you are a superhero, who would it be and why?
I never really ever, I know that sounds crazy because I think a lot of people envision themselves as a superhero at one point or another. But if I could just be honest, I've never imagined myself being anyone else, including a superhero. Um, I just never thought about that. So if I had to be a superhero, I think I like Wonder Woman. She's always dressed cute. She's very strong and, a feminist and very powerful. And I've been her for Halloween before. So I guess I would be Wonder Woman.
Oh, yes. And I'm sure you are a Wonder Woman to your three beautiful kids.
Yeah.
Well, and wow. Yes. Well, I'm sure you are beautiful, beautiful Wonder Woman. Was
Thank
it during
you.
Halloween or
Yeah, I was for Halloween. Like I just was like, I don't know what I'm gonna be. And my sons wanted they like for me to dress up. So I found like this cute shirt with a cape on it and went with it. So
oh, I'm, I'm sure they loved it.
yeah.
So you mentioned you have a son. How young are they again?
I have a total of four children. So I have an 18-year-old, and then I have a 15-year-old who is my bonus son, and he'll be
Oh,
16 this year. And then I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I have an 18, 5, and 3-year-old biological children who live with me.
oh wow. So they're a handful at the moment. They're learning
Oh
so
yeah.
many new
I
things.
have two monitors sitting right here. They're taking their nap. Let me tell you, they are a handful indeed.
Oh yes. But it's an amazing age because they ask you so many questions.
Oh my
They're very
gosh.
curious.
So
And I
many questions.
yes. Well, so let's get back into our portion. So Wonder Woman. And well, I know that you are very busy in the entrepreneurial um, world. You are a coach. You have your business. You have your um, what's that called? I'm sorry again. You're
My
the
apparel and
founder
merchandise
and
line. Yep.
president of
hmm
the Yes, the Girl Yes.
My nonprofit. Yeah.
Yes, it's a nonprofit. It's an amazing journey. I'm sure. Why did you choose to have that nonprofit organization?
Well, as I mentioned, and as you mentioned, I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, and it was very tumultuous childhood. It was, gangs and drugs and violence. And it was also pretty fun because while I was there, I didn't realize how much was going on around me. It wasn't until I really got older that I realized, like, oh my gosh, like where we live as, young girls was
Mhm.
just like a whole lot. And so I know that there was a lot of unmet needs that I had, both emotionally and psychologically, that I did not have. And there were also a lot of things that I was not equipped with in order to be able to survive and to grow into a productive citizen, whatever that looks like for me, right? Because success is based upon the person's perspective.
Yes.
So there were a lot of things I found out the hard way.
Mhm.
And it just was, added time to my life and time to my experience that I didn't necessarily have to endure. And so my mission with Girl Yes is to equip them with all the tools necessary to succeed. In addition to, having them to develop their leadership skills, I want them to become leaders from the inside out. And so we start working on self esteem and self actualization and self awareness and all those things that make you who you are at the core so that you can show up as a vibrant leader. Oftentimes, we want to build and develop leadership skills, and that's fine, those soft skills. But if we haven't fixed and addressed what's on the inside to us, inside of us, then it's going to be very challenging to show up as that authoritative, impactful, influencing leader. So.
Wow. I love when you said be a leader from the inside out, because most of the time we lead, but we're still broken deep inside. But
Yeah.
you are helping these young women, young girls. From what age are they? What
So my
age?
nonprofit serves girls from the ages of 5 to 13 generally. But more recently, we've been having a lot of like 10 to 18-year olds. And so we don't really necessarily put a cap on the age limit that we serve girls. Because I mean, really part of it was me watching my daughter in high school. She's 18 now, graduating senior. And all of the experiences she was having, and she would come home and share with me some of the experiences her friends were having, and it was just like, listen, it's time for me to do something here locally in my community. So, my sweet spot is the teenage preteen space.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was also growing up, from 5 to 10, 12, preteen, we are, it's the most time we are more bullied as
Oh
well.
yeah, absolutely.
So
And now
it's
they have
really,
cyberbullying and everything else. It's really bad out here. Yeah.
yes. And how do you do that? Do you help them from their schools, or do,
Yeah, so we host workshops, and since COVID, we've been able to really take advantage of technology. So we do a lot of virtual workshops, and what I like about it is it allows me to have expand my reach and my impact. Whereas, when we go to schools, which we do, that's just a limited number of people. It's just right here, staying local because I'm only one person, and we're not a really big nonprofit. We just started, and so it's just a couple of us working the mission and the vision. And so the virtual space allows us to make and have a greater impact.
wow. So when and where did you start your journey as a transformational coach? I love that you're talking about how to make an impact, but when exactly did you find yourself saying, "Oh, I want to be this transformational coach"?
Yeah, I don't think it was so much of, like, I want to be this. I started out as an educator. So I was a teacher for 10 years. I've taught everything from pre K to high school, from the core subject areas to home economics. And so what I found was that I was already transforming lives.
Yes.
Always been a transformer, if you will. Maybe that's my superhero, a transformer. I don't know. But anyway, and so that's always what I've done. I've always wanted to help people change their lives because I know what it did for me. And I was my very first client. I tell people all the time, before I helped anyone else, I had to help myself overcome all of the issues that I carried around with me all throughout my, early childhood, through high school, through early college years, and even post, early adulthood. And once I realized that I was able to help myself, then I knew I can help other people. Because oftentimes we kind of put the horse before the carriage. We want to go help everyone else. And I'm the kind of
Yeah.
person like practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And so I was never comfortable saying I'm going to help people transform their lives until I was sure that I could actually do it. And so I took a leap of faith, and around 2000. 15, I quit teaching. I just abruptly quit. My husband, like, hey, I'll support you. We were just engaged at the time. And that's when I
Mhm.
published my first book. And I did some book collaborations as well, became an Amazon bestseller. And then I started doing some other things in the event space and kind of overseeing another nonprofit and working as executive vice president for some celebrities and doing all kinds of stuff, just kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And in that experience is where I decided that I had so much more to offer and that my skills that I had been obtaining from an educator in life has kind of led me there. So I became John Maxwell certified because I wanted to refine my skills in terms of leadership training and what that looked like exactly, because I come from an educational space and it's not the same. And
Yeah.
so after, becoming John Maxwell certified, I went ahead and became a behavior disc analyst through John Maxwell as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, the journey just started. And so I just started coaching women. I started leadership coaching, doing masterminds and things like that. And what I found was that those women needed so much more than leadership training. And a lot of them were moms. And they were women who were trying to empower themselves and move from one place in their lives to another. And that's what transformation is about. It's about going from where you are to where you see yourself, even though it's not happened yet. And so I decided to launch my company, DEZ 360 Coaching and Consulting. And what that allowed me to do was then, create these high ticket offers and a la carte offers and online coaching programs and courses. And I also have a podcast. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have been doing this now since, officially since like 2015, 16, but my business actually as a name, as an actual entity, started around
Mhm.
2019. Yeah.
Wow,
I've just
you
been
have been
growing.
very busy. And my mom says you are a very engaging leader. She's
Oh,
watching us now. Yeah.
oh, thank you. Hey, mom.
Yeah. She says, "Hello, Desiree. You are a very engaging leader."
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I am so amazed by your journey and the decision that you have made to just quit your job abruptly,
Yeah.
having y- and now you have your thriving
Yeah.
businesses,
Yeah.
more than one. And
Serial entrepreneur over here. Serial.
yeah,
Crazy. I don't know what's wrong with me.
well, nothing's wrong with you because I am also a serial
Or
entrepreneur.
you
We
understand?
have been journeying. We have 150 people working for us in our cleaning business. So it's been 10 years.
That's
Now we are
awesome.
launching into the coaching space because we want to help people create and be financially free as well. And we want to help people and women around the world to find their voice, find their purpose, and yeah, that's why
I love
we're.
that. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much. So I would like to ask you if there are three things that we could implement. What are they, and how can we daily implement it successfully?
Yeah. So the first thing I tell people, and I don't know if they are new necessarily, but I always like to remind people of what we've heard, because we
Yeah.
hear so much information. A lot of us are like serial learners, right? All we want to do is consume information, and you forget a lot of what you've consumed. And so there's not a lot of implementation. So the first thing I will always say is to become very clear about where you are. So I always start with an assessment. Everything starts with a level of self-awareness, and you can't go from one place A to B or A to Z or A to anywhere if you have not fully assessed where you are. I love to use the analogy of, a GPS system, right? We get in a car and we want to go somewhere. Well, the first thing you have to do is tell your GPS not where you're going, but where you are. It asks you,
Mhm.
where's your starting point? So if you don't know where your starting point is, it's going to be very challenging for this GPS system that's designed to help you to get you to where you're going. So the first step is to assess where you are. You know what I mean? To get that GPS system going. And then the next thing is, the second thing the GPS asks us is, where do you want to go? So after you put in where you are, decide exactly where it is you want to go. At the end of the day, some of us, we just want better, we want more, we want abundance, we want all of these big terms, but we have not become clear, crystal clear, about what it is that we want to achieve or where we want to go and where we see ourselves. I always say that you have to see it until you believe it, and you have to think it, see it, say it, and then you can seize it. Until then, you won't have it, right? So you have to become very crystal clear about
Yeah.
where it is you're headed, and then thereafter, you have to evaluate. So once you get there, there's always an evaluation. Oftentimes we execute, right? We execute, but then we don't go back and evaluate. And that
That's
part
right.
right there is very key to understanding what your next move is, or if you should stay, pause, reevaluate, reassess, re-implement, pull back, go forward. It lets you know what it is you need to do next. So I always say assess where you are, and then determine where you're going to go, and then evaluate your execution.
Wow. Assess where you are,
Yeah,
determine where you want to go, and assess your achievements or your execution.
absolutely.
Wow, I love it. Now we go in the end of our show. I
Hmm.
would like to ask you a last question.
Yeah.
How can we become resilient and inspire others? Because I know you have posted a quote and it said, if you could doing the things that you do, what, let me rephrase it. If if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got.
Yeah.
Henry Ford. So I would like to ask you, how can we apply that to become resilient, and how can we inspire others by using that code?
Yeah. So listen, it is absolutely insanity to think that you'll get a different result from doing the same thing, right? So I like to use the example of weight loss because it's something that everybody can understand, and it's something that we can see physically, right? You started talking about inner transformation and people can't see that, they can't relate to it. But if you talk about a weight loss journey, you can see that if someone is 200 pounds, right, and they want to go to 100 pounds, I'm making this up. I don't really get into the whole weight thing. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. As long as you're healthy and happy, I just like to use the example because it's something we can physically see.
Yeah.
But okay, so if you want to go from 200 pounds to 100 pounds and you haven't switched up your diet, you have not switched up your mindset about your physicality, right? Because a lot of it is mindset. You haven't done any of the things. You haven't sought out a nutritionist. You haven't sought out a dietitian. You're not working with a professional trainer, or at least getting up to start moving. You haven't started the process. You're going to keep eating what you want to eat. You're going to keep drinking the things you want to drink. You're going to keep. So you tell me if you're going to lose weight. Like, more than likely, you're not going to lose weight. You're probably going to go the opposite direction. So if you keep doing those same things, you're going to get the same result over and over. I think resilience is taking on the mindset that no matter what happens, I'm going to push past my quit. That is resilience. Resilience is remembering why you started in the first place. Because if you remember why you started in the first place, you'll never quit. Resilience is built when you remember that initial feeling that you had when God, and I'm a Christian, so I don't apologize for that. When God first gave you the idea, the notion that you can be or become or create this thing, that same adrenaline rush that you had, that's resilience. When you can remember that feeling to keep you going, if you can remember that your why was way bigger than your desire to quit, that is what builds resilience. And I think over time, people are always watching, even if they say they're not, or even if you think they're not. Like, you just pulled a quote from my page. I don't even know when I posted that. I'm sure I posted it because I remember saying it. I say it all the time, but I have
Yeah.
no idea when you saw it, or where you saw it, or which page you saw it on. But the point is, you saw it. So when people see you, I believe that we are a physical representation of what's on the inside of us. And so people see you enduring. They've seen you and your husband build this business over all these years and maintain it. It was not easy. People know it's not easy, because if it was easy, they would have done it themselves. They would have themselves been successful at whatever it is they do. They're trying to do, or they've sought out to do. And so I say that resilience is built when you have made up in your mind that you're going to remember why you started and to push past your quit. And others begin to become resilient based upon the transformational journey that you present to them.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah.
This is really hitting me home because I, just like I told you earlier, I've been trying to start and stop and start and stop in my coaching, and each time I feel like I've hit the bar, or
Yeah.
the terror barrier, as
Yeah.
Bob Proctor calls it. Actually, I say,
Yeah.
it's out of my comfort zone. But then you say resilience is remembering that no matter what happens, I'm going to push past my quit, and
Yeah.
remembering my why. Why did I start this journey? Why do I
Why did
want
you
to?
want to become a coach anyway?
Yes,
if you can quit so easily, it wasn't for you anyway.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And the same example that you use, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to just shed that 100 kilos or 10 kilos
Yeah.
or
I always say go 5 whys deep. Because most of the time when you ask someone why, they give you the surface level why, right?
right,
So why do you want
right.
to coach? I want to change women's lives. That's cute. That's
Yes,
nice. But
yes.
why do you want to change women's lives? Well, because I'm a woman and I understand what we go through. Okay, that's nice. But
Yes.
why is it that you understand? What is it that makes you relatable that you understand? Well, I so when you go 5 whys deep, you get to the
Oh,
core of why you really want to do what you want to do. And that's the
oh,
part you need to hold on to. That first why is the surface level why. It's the statement that we give when we're in an interview like this.
mhm.
But that by the time you get to that fifth why, there is something on the inside of you that should be burning, a burning desire to have you do whatever it is you're talking about. If you don't get
Oh,
that burning desire after you keep asking yourself why, you probably should switch to something else.
yes. Oh, that's really good. That hits home so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I know I have, well, in our journey, my first why is because I wanted to be free for my children, to be able to just drop whatever I'm doing, be present for them when they're sick or when they just need me. I want to be there to see them grow, to see everything that they're going through. But then
Absolutely.
I haven't been 5 whys deep. That's really
Go deeper than that, because that's nice. I mean, and that
yes.
is a why. That is a major
Yes.
why, because as a mom, again, I was a former educator of 10 years, and I had my daughter in school at the time. It was just she and I
Yes.
missed so many things, and it made me sick. And then
Yes.
I would be at my school hosting events for other people's children and making their day great at school and all this stuff. And I was missing out on my daughter's field day activities and assemblies and talent shows and field trips because I was on field trips with those other kids and all that. And though I love those kids, I think about them all the time. I love those kids. Like, one of them reached out to me, and he is doing an amazing thing in politics. I was like, what? Like, how old am I that one of my students is working in politics? But it's an amazing thing. But I
How old
wouldn't
are you? Are
sacrifice
you
my
30?
children. Uh-huh.
Sorry? Are you 35?
I'm almost 40.
Wow.
I'll be 40 in May.
Oh, I'll be 40 soon too. So we're in the same age.
We're the same
Wow.
age, girl. Yeah. So yeah, just go five
And
whys deep. Just do the work.
it's yes, it's true. So 5 whys deep. Oh, that's so good. It really hits home. Oh, and well, so keep remembering your why. It builds resilience. Resilience is no matter what happens, I'm going to push past my quits.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
going 5 whys deep is
Yes.
essential.
Yes.
I've never heard about that, but gosh, that's really good advice because
Yeah.
most often it's really just the surface that yeah, why did I do that? Why do I want this?
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
it's it's because it's trending
Yep.
because lots of people are doing coaching business, but why exactly am I doing this?
Yep.
And that's a really, really good advice. Thank you so much, Desiree, for being a guest in our show.
You're welcome.
I have seen this again in your post, in your website, I think. You says, remember if you're uncertain, if you're hesitant, if you're filled with doubt and fear about achieving real change and reaching personal and professional fulfillment, please understand that Des and I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So, as always, I ask my guests to give one crystal clear gem before you leave and so that they can apply in their personal or business.
So a crystal clear gem for me would be for you to always be assessing, always assess. Be open to the idea that what you want to happen can happen. It just may not happen the way that you expect it to happen or want it to happen or even prepared for it to happen. So you got to have some flexibility, especially as a mom, as a woman, as an entrepreneur building businesses. The gym is just always be assessing. Be married to the goal, to the outcome, but be
Mhm.
very flexible to the journey, because transformation is a journey. There
Yeah.
is no ending point. There's always going to be more. You're going to always want more. And that's the thing about transformation. It's ongoing, or at least it should be if you're growing and stand out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Well, I remember a quote, if you're not growing, you're dying. So
Absolutely.
keep on growing, keep on transforming, and why not transform lives as well as
Absolutely.
you grow? So thank you very much again, Desiree, for joining me in the Crystal Clear Show.
Yes, you're welcome.
Remember, where you are now doesn't matter. Where you are going does. And be crystal clear wherever you go. Thank you so much again. Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Best
Bye.
wishes. Bye bye.